Alright, what's up guys, S6 Factor here, and welcome to a commentary about how I got hit by a car. And this gameplay is from Blur. He does a free-for-all game, gets to last, hits the two pieces first online clip. But I don't have very much time, so I'm gonna go right into the commentary on how I got hit by a car. So, what always happens, I always do this with my family. We go down to Mooney's, which is an ice cream place near my house, and I don't like ice cream, so I go over across the street to 7-Eleven, and what I do is I get a Slurpee, then I go back to Mooney's and eat whatever with them, talk whatever, So, it was a day like that, and I went to 7-Eleven after we went to Mooney's and crap, and I was about to cross the road to go back to Mooney's. And let me just mention that 7-Eleven is on the right side of the road and Mooney's is on the left side of the road. You can see it Google Maps. And there was a guy, I think it was a small black car, a guy in a small black car. He was turning right on a red light, which, you know, is allowed. It's legal. So, and he didn't see me, and I never came to mind that he could do that, so I never bothered to make eye contact. So I started to cross the road, he started to go forward in a panic, not really a panic, but I just thought really quickly. I just started to go forward, faster, I did, and I curved to the right because he was on my left. Obviously, I can show you here's a Google map. I'll just mention where he is, where I am, that sort of stuff, and I wasn't fast enough. So he was only going like a few miles per hour because he was completely stopped. He started and he stopped right after, and I just kind of tumbled off my bike. I had absolutely no air in my system, and it did not sound fine. I did not in no way sounded fine when I got straight up, and he asked me if I was okay, and it did not sound fine when I said, it hurts to even say it, but something like that. I had no air in my lungs, absolutely no air. My left leg, I'm so sorry, my left leg was completely stiff. I had to kind of limp over to the grass in front of the sidewalk where I was going. Again, Google Maps, I'll show you a picture of that. So I laid down on the grass and closed my eyes, and I guess I blacked out, but I blacked out in a peaceful way. You know, I didn't just like black out and then all of a sudden topple over. But what ended up happening was the ambulance that found me, they were actually just coming out of Arby's. They just had dinner and they were just coming out, you know, going down the road, and they saw me lying by the side of the road on the grass, and that was within 2 to 5 minutes or something like that. And I woke up or whatever from my blackout or wherever it ended up being, and next thing I know, they're in front of me. They're asking me what day it was. I said Tuesday, because that was day. They asked me how many quarters were in a dollar for. Yep, I was fine. And they started asking me where was the pain. I had pain in my left leg, my left foot, my chest, kind of like in my right ribs, and my left arm, because my left arm and left leg took most of the hit because he hit me from the left and my arm was kind of out. My left arm took most of it, left leg took a little bit more, but my right arm and my right leg or whatever, those were just fine, completely fine. So my mom, and sooner or later my brother and my stepdad, I found rushing over. And what actually happened with my mom was she saw me about to cross the street, so she looked over, she's like, alright, he's gonna be here soon. then a little bit later, she was wondering where was I. She thought I was crossing the street. And she thought, did I like kind of loop around the giant parking lot there is, Google Maps, and just for fun. Then she looked over, saw an ambulance, and she asked, did somebody have a heart attack? And then she realized that she didn't see my bike, so she just ran over there. My brother and stepfather soon followed her, not knowing exactly what. They freaked out a little bit more than she did. And yeah, I went into the ambulance. They all asked me. They said, oh yeah, they found out why it was hurting and crap. So I went into the ambulance. My mom came with me. My mom told my brother and my stepfather to go home and grab her phone, grab her purse, grab her bike, all that crap, then come to Covenant. And what ended up happening was, while they were grabbing all that stuff at home, my dad called. And all my brother could say was, Alex got hit by a car, and then hung up because they had to rush. And so he was pretty not informed at all about how minor it was or anything like that. So my brother called my other brother, my dad called my other brother, my bad, that does not live with us. He is on another place in the state. He goes to a college that's like 45 minutes away, whatever, but he doesn't live with us, so he didn't know. He found it, but he didn't have any information, so he called him and just said that I got hit by a car. No one knew how bad it was, so yeah. So I went into Covenant, stuff like that, went into the ER room, and I ended up only having, I had a, like, kind of like abrasion or whatever. Here's a picture of it on my rib, which is that pain. Then I had like a really small kind of like abrasion. I kind of skinned myself on my knee. You can't really see it, so I won't show a picture of that. Not my knee, my foot. And other than that, I had, my leg was still a little bit stiff. I could still move it a little bit. My arm was sore. But other than that, I was fine. And I'm really, really glad of that. And I was really good and stuff. Lucky. Oh my god, I was lucky. But for the abrasion on my rib, they did not. It was either a tiny bandage or a freaking huge one. So they put a huge bandage or not even a bandage. It was a giant bandage. They put like a cloth and then taped it up. It was freaking huge for like a tiny little thing, as you saw. That at the time it was like probably a little over. It was probably a little less than 2 times the size than it is in the picture. But yeah, it was still pretty small. And then we ended up going home, and I saw my bike, and yeah, it was like 11:30 at night, and my brother took a picture. I'll show it to you right now. Here you go. And yeah, that's the aftermath. And yeah, I ended up staying home the next day. My left arm was sore for quite a few days afterwards, but ibuprofen helped it, and eventually it wore out a few days later. So, and that's about it. So that's how I got hit by a car. Very minorly, but still a fun experience. So thanks for watching. Bye.